Good morning, America. I hope you're all having a blessed morning today. Good to see you. I'm Vanessa Broussard. Our top story this morning, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles has been diagnosed with early stage breast cancer. The good news, Wiles has an excellent prognosis and will begin treatment immediately while continuing to work. Wiles posted this to her followers. Last week, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Nearly 1 in 8 women in the United States will face this diagnosis. Every day, these women continue to raise their families, go to work, and serve their communities with strength and determination. I now join their ranks. I am grateful to have an outstanding team of doctors who detected the cancer early and are guiding my care, and I am encouraged by a very good prognosis. I am also deeply thankful for the support and encouragement of President Trump as I undergo treatment and continue serving in my role as White House Chief of Staff. The president also posting about the diagnosis, saying Susie Wiles is an incredible chief of staff, a great person, and one of the strongest people I know. He went on to say during the treatment period, she will be spending virtually full time at the White House, which makes me, as president, very happy. The president led a Trump Kennedy Center board meeting yesterday with Susie Wiles by his side and spoke about her diagnosis.
Introduce Susie Wiles, who's fantastic. She's our chief of staff, and she's an amazing person, an amazing fighter, and she announced a minor difficulty, which will be in good shape for, he'll be around for a long time. She had a diagnosis, you probably saw it, and she's going to take care of it immediately, as opposed to waiting. She said, let's do it now. I said, do it immediately. Because with that particular ailment, the faster the better. That's the only thing I know about it. The faster the better. She's going to do it immediately. So she just started, actually. And she's going to be in great shape. The prognosis there is excellent, beyond excellent. So,
thank you, sir.
But who needs it, right?
That's right.
Who needs it?
We all wish Susie Wiles a speedy and successful recovery. She is 68 years old and is the first woman to serve as White House Chief of Staff, Wiles also being one of President Trump's closest advisors. Also at the board meeting yesterday, the president discussed the renovations at the Trump Kennedy Center. It's a 2-year closure, which will begin July 4th. There will be major construction and rebuilding.
We got rid of the gold columns, which looked always terrible. They looked cheap and they looked fake. Very much like the media, actually.
So many in the media are cheap and fake. The renovation is estimated to be around $250 million. It's Congress approved. President Trump has also signed an executive order naming Vice President Vance to lead a task force to root out fraud. This comes after the fraud was found in Minnesota and now California. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. In the billions, independent journalist Nick Shirley exposed them, and now Trump is going after them.
Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it. This is a big thing that we're doing. It's about fraud, having to do with all the fraud that's taking place in our country. And we have 2 people that are extremely brilliant and just very talented, and they're going to be put in charge. But I'd like to ask Will, if you would, to give a little description of what we're signing, the executive order, and then I'll ask JD to speak.
Yes, sir. As you stated in your State of the Union address, in light of widespread revelations of fraud in federally funded programs in states like Minnesota and California, this executive order in front of you will establish a new task force aimed at rooting out that fraud, returning potentially billions or tens of billions or even hundreds of billions of dollars to the American taxpayer. This task force will be chaired by the Vice President. The Vice Chairman will be the head of the FTC, Andrew Ferguson, who's with us here as well today. But this is going to launch a whole-of-government approach to rooting out the very serious problem of fraud in federally funded programs around the country.
And in the office during the executive order signing, advisor Stephen Miller, he had this to say.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, under President Trump's leadership, as we've seen, the illegal flow across the southern border was stopped completely. But what we found since President Trump came into office is that the Democrats have set up a system to funnel hundreds of billions and ultimately trillions of dollars to migrants that are in our country, oftentimes from places like Somalia. So as an example, ICE recently asked a group of illegal immigrants that were in detention whether or not they were receiving Medicaid. Half of them raised their hands and volunteered that they were on Medicaid. Just volunteered that. These aren't the ones who are hiding it, right? They also asked illegal aliens how they paid their medical bills, and they said that if they don't have Medicaid, they go to hospitals, they get free care there, and they bill it to the taxpayers. So they aren't paying for any of their own health care in this country. This is one example. And we've seen this over and over and over again. So under President Trump's leadership, and then of course with JD and the head of the FTC, Andrew Ferguson, we're going to see the first ever effort in American history to reclaim the ultimately trillions of dollars that were stolen from taxpayers. I believe, and I know President Trump believes, that when this theft is exposed, we will see that if all of it were stopped, it would be enough to balance the budget. The extraction of wealth from American taxpayers to people who don't belong here is the primary cause of the national debt, and this is the first ever effort to shut that down. Thank you, Mr. President.
Let's bring in West Coast podcast host Sam Myerjovsky to talk more about this. Sam, good to see you here today. We've seen so much come out of Minnesota. We haven't even scratched the surface in California. You cover that state a lot. What are you hearing?
Well, Vanessa, great to be with you. Sure, this story just keeps getting worse, I think, for the Democrats. Starting with Minnesota, you know, I still remember, and I'm sure you do too, when it was just $1 billion in fraud. And then we kept picking at it, and it was 5, then it was 9, now we're up to, 20 plus by some accounts. In California, it's going to be much worse, and the reason is just it's a bigger state, there's a bigger budget. We're talking an almost $400 billion annual budget. And there's a lot of a bloat, and I think by design there are opportunities to defraud this budget because it feeds the entire political beast, and that's a huge part of the story. It's in effect the purpose behind this fraud. The politicians allow it in order to get money then funneled back to them via donations and the like. So I expect the California story to just keep getting worse there, and just in time for Gavin Newsom to launch his national bid for the presidency.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, we haven't even really touched California yet because so much focus has been on Minnesota. You mentioned it. When we heard $1 billion in the beginning, we thought that was a lot of money, but it just keeps escalating. It's getting higher and higher and higher. And we know that, we're picking on Minnesota and California, but this is happening all over the country. That's why President Trump designated yesterday this force for Vice President JD Vance to go after all of these fraudsters. Just last night, Sam, Nick Shirley released another video from California. I want to show it in its entirety and then get your reaction on the flip side. I want everyone at home to watch.
So what do you think about all this hospice fraud? Sir, you're in the Cybertruck, driving away, taking money from old people. Yet he's just driving away in his Cybertruck, won't even answer any questions. Let's see, we have another rich person as well that's getting rich off this hospice. This guy's leaving as well. So the two people that walked out of Holy Angels, they're in a brand new Cybertruck and a new BMW. How lucrative of a business is hospice? I'm seeing a Cybertruck here in a nice BMW. It's good. Yeah, because it looks like, for instance, Guardian of Angels, that used to be here, $4.8 million they billed the state of California. And how many clients do you guys have?
Brother, do you have a badge? Do I need to answer your question?
I'm just curious.
It's not mine. I just work.
Yeah. You must be getting paid pretty well, right?
Bro, this is my parents, bro. Come on.
Do your parents run the hospice?
They don't work.
No. Who's that guy in the Cybertruck?
He's my uncle.
He's your uncle. So it's like a family business to own the hospices.
It's
But
not us.
but why was he walking out of the hospice then too?
Brother, can you leave me alone?
Like these hospices, there's nothing inside of them.
If it's not you guys, how come you're in the
If it-
newest
yeah, if it-
BMW and the newest Cybertruck?
Brother, because
I can only imagine what the guy who's in charge is
because of
driving.
hospital. Brother, leave me alone.
Just all the other hospices? Do you like taking care of old people? Like, are you the one going out visiting the hospice patients, sir? Uh-oh, he's gonna have to do another point turn.
Yeah, you guys are in my fucking way. Move.
Well, you could just go that way. What's the key to opening up a hospice if I wanted to open up one? Because you're in the family business of hospices. If I want to open my own? What do you do for work here?
Huh?
What do you do for work here?
Why?
Oh, we're just looking around. We're seeing all these hospices, so we're just curious.
Well, I don't know, man.
Word got out that I was inside of the plaza and all the fraudsters started hopping in their cars, leaving the scene.
Excuse me. Let's see if they can just answer our questions really quick. Hello, can we ask you a quick question? Driving out in a brand new M8. They can't get out that easy. How can I get an M8 as well? Should I open up a hospice? We're driving out in a brand new M8 BMW M8 competition. Listen to this thing. This is the sound of hospice money. And this is the guy who said he's fat because of Dr. Oz. His business is not open today. Seems like this mafia right here is naming all of their companies after the word angel. We have Angels of Valley Hospice. We have Angels of Haven, Angels of Peace, Light of Angels. Yet the BMWs, one right here, one right there, two brand new Mercedes over there. It just is unbelievable the amount of money that these people are making, and they're not even trying to hide it. Buying these luxury cars, each and every single person's wearing some sort of designer clothing as well. And this building looks like it used to be some sort of old motel that has turned into some cash grab, money grab for hospices here. Would you like to give any last statement about what's going on here? Nothing? Because it seems like it was pretty good family business. Another guy just pulled out in the M8 competition.
Good for them, bro. Why are you guys pocket watching, bro? Leave the fucking people alone.
Because this is taxpayers' dollars that are paying for all this stuff.
Okay. What the fuck is he doing? That ass just working, bro.
With taxpayers' dollars receiving money from Medicare, Medicaid, Medi-Cal, you name it. And it just seems like a lot of people are getting rich off of
I'm busy, bro. I have work.
the death of old people. What do you do for work here?
Oh, bro. Right.
It's sad to think about it. Here in the United States, we're literally being defrauded by people who are taking advantage of old people, young people in daycares, disabled people with autism clinics, and no one's doing anything to stop it. So I think it's time we stand up to these fraudsters and tell them, let them know, you are stealing from everyday American citizens. People can't afford homes, rents are expensive, their insurance is expensive, everything's getting more and more expensive, and if we don't crack down on this fraud, national debt's going to continue going up. This is just one of the factors that affects the national debt, and we're going to lose the value of our own dollar. So people, if they want to really fight to keep America great, a great way to do it is by fighting fraud, because this is just unbelievable. You have people who drive around in BMWs, M8 competitions, Mercedes. Meanwhile, everyday American citizens are struggling to be able to afford their own bills.
Sam, that just came out last night from Nick Shirley on the ground there in California. Now we knew he was heading to California, and we have heard President Trump has said, just like you mentioned, California is going to have a bigger bold when it comes to how many billions of dollars are being, stolen from the system. This is just sickening. How is this even allowed to take place in America? Is nobody watching these people? Is nobody going through and seeing if these people are verified? Is there a verification process? What is happening?
Well, this hospice fraud in LA County alone, I read somewhere there's about 1,800 hospice care facilities or businesses that provide hospice care via Medicare funds. And about half of those are presumed have markers of fraud. And they can figure this out now because of the way the computer systems work. So there's that. To me, the reaction that I have when I see Nick's videos is if a guy with a camera can go and find this stuff in a day or two, in a week or two, whatever amount of time it took, where's the California Attorney General, right? Where's law enforcement? Where are actual, honest to goodness, police officers and investigators who have subpoena powers to discover this stuff. And it goes back to my original theory. There is a willing and deliberate, a willful ignorance of this in the political class in California. California is a supermajority Democrat state. And it's because each and every one of these families that operates these businesses are major big donors to the Democratic Party. You saw this play out, by the way, in Minnesota, where the story has gotten more developed. If you'll remember, there were a number of these facilities that got caught, and later, actually, there have already been convictions, so we can say it's been proven in court, that had high-level meetings with the Attorney General there, with Keith Ellison. I mean, this is a top, national profile Democrat who was advising these fraudsters in how to lay low and was actually running interference for them. It's all on tape. So I have zero doubt that that's happening in California. I'll say one more thing about this. And there'll be more anecdotes like this that come out, but there was an American who was looking to get some Medicare benefits and was applying for Medicare benefits, and she was told that she was already in hospice care because somebody had stolen her identity and was bilking the system, and so she needed health care, and they're like, hey, your system says you're dying, you're in hospice. And I think one thing here is we're not recognizing this is actually taking public benefit dollars. It's not just burning our tax dollars, but it's also stealing benefits from needy Americans who actually need these, need Medicare and need these public assistance funds. So the whole thing from top to bottom is rotten.
It really is. And, it's sad, the story you just told, because it is so true. One, yes, identity theft, but two, how many American people who really need the help out there that just aren't getting it? And it's so easy for these fraudsters to make millions. And so, when people really need the care, or not just for themselves, but for their children, we've seen the autism centers that are fake in Minnesota. This is just how these people sleep at night, Sam, is beyond me, because they're just stealing billions of dollars, and these people who really need the help, there's probably elderly out there who really need the care. What if they call these places and they're a fraud? They're not even open. They're not even in business. It's just people milking money from the government and from taxpayers. It's really sick, and the true victims are the American people and the American children when it comes to the autism centers, the learning centers, the learning centers, and our leaders, we've noticed this is happening in two Democrat-run states, Minnesota and California. That's the two that we are focusing on right now. But they're just turning a blind eye. Like, how do they not know? Like you mentioned, where's the attorney generals in these states? They're just turning a blind eye to this fraud.
Well, I think, and like I said, deliberately. And let me say, there's another component of the story that I'm sure, has gotten a lot of press and will continue to get press, and that is all of these billionaires in California that are fleeing, because to pay for all of this fraud, this costs money, and the state of California can't print money, so they either go into some amount of debt, or they have to raise taxes. And so they've proposed this billionaire tax, this asset tax, and all of a sudden all these billionaires are fleeing the state and are going to Texas and are going to Florida. But these are the very people who voted and supported the political system that is allowing the looting of the state. And now these people are going to, pick up and go, because rightly their net worth and their assets are in danger. But they're going to take their politics with them to where they're going, and I don't expect them to change their tune. I mean, they're going to come to Florida and start supporting Democrats in Florida. You compare the state budget of Florida and the state budget of California, and one state, is well run and the other isn't. And at the heart of it is the rule of law. It's very, very important. In the Nick Shirley video, a lot of BMWs and Mercedes and conspicuous consumption. I'm I'm a capitalist. I'm an American. I don't begrudge anybody's success. If you've made your money honestly, by all means, spend it on whatever you want. My problem here is that it is actually money being taken from the productive in society and being allocated to those that are just scamming the system, and that's fundamentally.
Yes, and you talk about the people who deserve the best of the best of taxpayer dollars. Let's segue into our military. They're overseas right now as we speak in Operation Epic Fury. They're working to protect our homeland. They were fed steak and lobster by our Department of War. The Democrats are throwing a hissy fit, Sam, because they have a great meal. They deserve a great meal. And if I were to choose right now, if you told me to go to the ballot box and choose which one I want, do I want my troops to have steak and lobster? Check yes. Or do you want the Somali fraudsters to have BMWs and nice rides and steal from taxpayers? Check no. I would prefer my money to go to these troops. My take, feed them more. They deserve it. And so you have the left who's saying, oh, I don't, we saw Tim Walz and Attorney General Ellison on Capitol Hill just a couple of weeks ago saying, we didn't know there was fraud in my state, but we're not happy that you're feeding our troops steak and lobster.
Vanessa, I'm so happy you brought the story up because think about and the contrast, right? So on one hand, the Democrats are completely ignorant, willfully blind to actual fraud and abuses of our taxpayer funds. And then they take this story, which was so obviously fake from go. My producer, by the way, on What's Right show, Robbie, he's a veteran, Air Force veteran. He immediately, the first thing he said is, "What? This is a nonsense story. We were fed, steak and lobster for special occasions, even on for birthdays for troops. It's a thing, and you would expect the Pentagon to, our armed services to buy this stuff in bulk, which is exactly what happened. They buy it in bulk, they freeze it, they ship it around the world. This has been going on for years. It went on in the Biden administration, Obama, Bush, the second and the first. This is nothing new. It's such a complete nothing burger story. And I think people are falling for it. There's people that come up to me and say, well, what do you think about Hegseth ordering $16 million worth of steak? That's a lot of steak. I don't know how Hegseth is, or anybody even in the Pentagon brass would be able to consume that much steak at one sitting. So the whole thing, like you said, is absurd.
It really is. And again, we thank our troops for their service. Tell your producer we thank him for his service as well. Feed our troops and feed them well. Another victim in all of this Democrat mess is our TSA agents. If anyone's flying anywhere soon, pack your patience, get to the airport extremely early. We are in a partial government shutdown as we speak, continuing on into another week. The Democrats do not want to fund the Department of Homeland Security, so therefore our TSA agents, again, are not getting paid. If you remember, Sam, they weren't getting paid last year during the government shutdown at the end of the year, so they went weeks without pay, the longest shutdown in American history. And here we are yet again. Our poor TSA agents who do a wonderful job are not getting paid because the Democrats do not want to fund them. So what happens? One, they're not getting paid and they're not able to pay their bills. Two, the passengers are the victims as well because flights are being delayed, flights are being canceled. I just saw a video yesterday, Sam, of cots being placed in airports around the country for people to sleep because they don't know when they're going to catch their next flight out. This is really getting bad at our airports across the country.
Well, it is, but this isn't the least of our trouble, right? We are shutting down core functions of the Department of Homeland Security at a time when we have a heightened terror alert in this country. And trust me, I fly a lot, so it's a massive inconvenience. Some airports like Austin have enormous lines. I saw reports yesterday of that. So just I get it. But you know what freaks me out is you go back during the Biden administration, wide open border, there were over 1,500 Iranians caught crossing the border, and those are just the contacts. Those are just the people that Border Patrol was lucky enough to intercept, and as much as 800 in 2024 alone. So, we talk about sleeper cells in the country. We have some data to back up and suggest that those people are likely in the country already with what's going on in Iran. This is the wrong time to shut down the government. And why is it happening? And this is the most important thing. And we know this from listening to congressional Democrats. Hakeem Jeffries flat out said the one ask that they have is that Department of Homeland Security removes ICE from sensitive locations. And when they go through the list, they list off things, but they always end on and dwell on, because they're focused singularly on this, is removing ICE from polling locations. It all comes down to election integrity. The Democrats are playing games with your safety, with my safety, just so that they can continue defrauding elections in this country. There's no other reason for it. Why would anybody illegal be voting? I don't know. There's no other answer for this. And that is what it is. And don't take my word for it. Just play the tape. Listen to Hakeem Jeffries. Whenever he talks about it, he lists hospitals, he lists schools, and polling booths. And he makes a big deal about this. It's sick.
It is sick, and we have aired his comments here on the show often, because he does have a press conference about once a week. And so he says the same thing, like you mentioned. It always ends with polling locations. They want to cheat. They want to allow what we just mentioned about the fraudsters going on in their states. It's just a mess. We cannot let a Democrat ever have control of any state or God forbid, the presidency ever again. Sam, we're running out of time. Unfortunately, I could talk to you the entire hour, but I want to point people towards your podcast. You do a really great job. You're on the West Coast, but you cover everything nationally. How can people listen to you?
Yeah, I'm based in Vegas, talk about national issues. What's Right, Sam is a podcast wherever you get your podcasts. You can find me there. Follow me on X at What's Right, Sam. And yeah, come join us. We have fun Monday through Friday. Quick show, and I love what I do.
Yes, well, we appreciate what you do. Thanks so much for stopping by today.
Thank you, Vanessa. Have a great day.
You too. Well, this morning we are getting new details about Operation Epic Fury. Iranian military command centers have been hit. The U.S. has destroyed Iran's missile and drone capabilities, and that includes ballistic missile launch pads, drone launch and storage facilities, weapon depots containing missiles, and Navy ships.
Our powerful military campaign to end the threats posed by the Iranian regime continued in full force over the past few days. They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone. Many ships have been sunk. They're warfighting ships, but I guess they didn't know how to use them. And anti-aircraft is decimated. Their radar is gone, and their leaders are gone. Other than that, they're doing quite well. They've been a terror for 47 years, and now I guess the world, through the United States, with the help of Israel, is doing what should have been done many years ago. Should have been done many years ago. Since the beginning of the conflict, we've struck more than 7,000 targets across Iran, and these have been mostly commercial and military targets. We've achieved a 90% reduction in their ballistic missile launches and a 95% reduction in drone attacks. The missiles are trickling in now at very low levels because they don't have too many missiles left. We've also attacked the manufacturing plants, where the places where they manufacture the missiles and the drones. And that's going on today. We just hit 3 of them today. And it's getting very hard for them to manufacture. More than 100 Iranian naval vessels have been sunk or destroyed over the last week and a half. It has to be some kind of a record. Additional strikes continue to launch from all directions every single hour.
President Trump has said regime change could happen eventually, but not immediately. The people of Iran hopeful because this is a step forward. But many are asking if Cuba is next. The U.S. government has opposed the Cuba communist regime for decades, even though the Castro era ended. The same political structure remains in place. The people of Cuba hoping the U.S. will intervene.
That helped protect Maduro. This is well known. Their whole spy agency, all that were full of Cubans. I mean, they basically, it's amazing. This poor island took over Venezuela in some cases. One of the biggest problems the Venezuelans have is they have to declare independence from Cuba. They tried to basically colonize it from a security standpoint. So, yeah, look, if I lived in Havana and I was in the government, I'd be concerned, at least a little bit.
Cutting off the oil flow to Cuba from Venezuela?
Well, the president already announced a week ago that anything that's sanctioned, it's sanctioned oil, it's not going to be allowed to get there. So that's a pre-existing.
Mr. President.
The answer is yes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
The president saying it would be an honor to help the people of Cuba. Here's what he had to say from the Oval Office.
I think Cuba, I don't know, is in its own way, for tourism and everything else, it's a beautiful island, great weather. They're not in a hurricane zone, which is nice for a change. They won't be asking us for money for hurricanes every week. But I think Cuba's see the end. All my life I've been hearing about the United States and Cuba. When will the United States do it? I do believe I'll be having the honor of taking Cuba. That'd be good. That's a big honor.
Taking Cuba.
Taking Cuba in some form, yeah. Taking Cuba. I mean, whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation right now. They were for a long time. Very violent leaders.
Cuba right now is experiencing severe inflation, food shortages, power outages across the entire island this morning, and a massive wave of migration. The bottom line, regime change in Cuba is possible long term. Back to the Save America Act. We talked about it a little bit with Sam. We can dust off the papers because the act, which has been sitting in the Senate for months, is finally being discussed after much pressure. Our Kara Castronova talked with the president about securing our elections.
Hey everybody, Kara Castronova, White House correspondent for LINDELLTV, and last night I got the opportunity to speak on the phone with President Trump about the Save America Act. As you know, the Save America Act is such an important piece of legislation that is going through the Senate right now, possibly will be voted on this week, and this is something that this administration has really been pushing for, to require ID on the day that you go to vote, and also to prove that you're a citizen when you register to vote. Really common sense items, but for some reason it's being held up by Democrats and a few rhinos in the Senate. So there's a lot of controversy there. So I did give the president a call just to get his latest take on the Save America Act. And my question for him was, Mr. President, do you have anything on the Save America Act for me? And should leadership be replaced if it doesn't go through? And this is what he said to me on that phone call. He said, quote, "I hope they get it done. It's the most popular thing ever put in, and I hope they get it done. That is all I can tell you." And then President Trump went on to say, Mike Lindell too, that this is what Mike has been waiting for, and what a lot of great Republicans and citizens and patriots have been waiting for years. And somebody said they may have a few Republicans that might vote against it, and I don't know how you can vote against any of the 5 items. That's what the president said. He doesn't understand how any Republicans can vote against any of those 5 items. Then he went on to pose the question to me, you don't either, probably. It's incredible. Meaning like I probably can't even imagine myself as a reporter why these Senate members would not vote for the Save America Act. Like, why wouldn't they vote for these 5 items? So I will obviously be following up with the president and the administration this week regarding the Save America Act, something that is so important to so many American people, so important to our audience, something so many American people have been fighting for and so many people voted for, and Democrats support it. That's the crazy thing. All Americans support this piece of legislation. So let's see what the senators do this week. We will reach out to the White House for comment, obviously to the president for comment. Will it be a celebration? Will Senator Thune get this legislation passed through, or will there be disappointment if it doesn't get passed through? But I can tell you this, in the very least, the Democrats are going to expose themselves for not caring about secure elections. I don't know why anybody wouldn't vote for this stuff. So they're going to put themselves on the record saying that it's not important to have secure elections in the United States. And furthermore, the Republican rhinos that don't vote for it will go on the record forever as people who didn't care about safe and secure American elections. But you never know. It might get passed. So we'll keep you updated, guys.
And Senator Mike Lee released a video calling on Americans, calling on you to pressure your senator in your district.
It's been about 2 years since Chip Roy and I wrote the SAVE Act, which later became the Save America Act. Tomorrow, this is going to come to fruition as the Save America Act comes to the floor of the United States Senate. I invite all within the sound of my voice who would like this bill to become law to reach out to as many people as possible, friends, neighbors, especially United States senators who might listen to you. Ask them, please get this passed. Tell them we need to invoke the talking filibuster in the United States Senate. No zombie filibuster will suffice on this one. We've got to turn to this bill, we've got to debate it, and we've got to stay on the bill until it becomes law. There can be no surrender, there can be no ifs, ands, or buts, there can be no cheap imitations here. The Republic is on the line. Let's get this done.
The Save America Act would require, as you know, a form of ID to vote in federal elections. It passed the House with flying colors. Now the Senate is dragging its feet. So call your senators, pressure them to make our elections safe and to pass the Save America Act. Those are your top stories today. When we come back, Turning Point USA Rise. Big events are coming up across the country. Love TP USA, how you can get involved. That's coming up next.
Have you ever noticed how complicated it is to get your medication? When you're not feeling well or you're running low on something, it turns into a whole process. You call the doctor, your appointment's days away, you sit in the waiting room, then you stand in line at the pharmacy, and sometimes they don't even have it. That's the old system. It is slow, it's frustrating, and it doesn't have to be that way. That's why I've been telling you about All Family Pharmacy. My family loves it, and I use them myself. You go online, you choose what you need, you fill out a short medical form, and one of their licensed doctors reviews your request. If it's appropriate, they write up the prescription, and it ships straight to your front door. This is how healthcare should work. If you believe in being prepared like I do, this is one of the smartest moves you can make. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Use the code Lindell10 to save 10% today. For the first time ever, we're bringing you MyPillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our MyPillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our MyPillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to Lindell TV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
Turning Point USA Rise is doing great things, and they are on the go all over the country, setting up multiple stops where you can get involved, you can get educated, and you can have a voice. Jaden Hurd with Turning Point Rise back with us this morning. Jaden, good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you, Vanessa. Thanks for having me.
Yes, y'all are busy over there at Turning Point USA Rise. Let's remind everyone, you have the Race War Tour going on. Tell us about the tour, and you have a couple of stops coming up in April.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we're super excited about this Race War tour. Race War is obviously the docu-series that we filmed, and we'll be showcasing episode 1 of Race War tour, along with having a panel of the people who were featured in the Race War film, and including producer of it, Pierre Wilson, and as well as Marcus Wada. The first one is April 1st, as you have on the screen, in Washington, D.C. I'm going to be at that one. So, hey, if you want to meet me, just saying, you should come. But also on April 15th, the date did get
Yes,
changed
and you
from
also
April
have,
14th.
if I can hear you, Jaden, I'm sorry, April 14th in Sandy Springs, Georgia. And then you have April 20th in Columbus, Ohio. Big events coming up for the Race War Tour. I'm interested to know the film behind this. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, I mean, Race War really is showcasing really two different sides of the culture right now and where we are. And really, you have people who really just have an idea of, like, they see everything through the lens of racism. And Race War, the docuseries, is meant to expose a lot of these radical ideologies, but also give a good alternative to how you can really think individually as a minority in this country. And so it's really good. And I highly recommend everyone to obviously go watch it on Rumble, but also come to the Race War Tour and watch episode 1 with us.
Yes, and make sure you go to Washington, D.C. Jaden will be at that tour stop. You can go to tpusarise.com to learn more information on the Race War Tour. I saw some big events I'm excited about. It was posted last night. Charlie Kirk, as we all know, he was so well known for picking up the mic. The Pick Up the Mic initiative continues. We've seen it all over the country, and you'll be joining in coming up in just a couple of weeks as well with Caroline Joyous, who we all love. She's great. You both will be at Auburn University. That's coming up at the end of March. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, we're actually going to be defending the rights of the preborn. It's going to be centered around abortion. And something that I really care about is the abortion issue. And that's something that we should all care about in the minority America specifically. Turning Point Rise is proudly pro life. And so we want to go on campuses and influence culture. That's one of our values. And so what we do is, with TPSA Rise, is we actually influence culture through clarity. And so a lot of these debates on college campuses need to keep on happening, because Charlie is not the only one who should be picking up the mic. We should be picking up the mic in honor of his legacy. And obviously, Caroline Joyous, I actually personally chose her. I was like, look, you need someone who's good for the camera, and you need someone who understands the position. It's going to be really cool. If you guys are in the Auburn area or in Alabama, or if you want to drive 3 hours from, Georgia and Florida, please come, because we're going to need all the support that we can, because a lot of these college campuses are full of propaganda and they're a bunch of leftists. But there's also an evening event, Vanessa, that same day. at 7 p.m. with me and Anna Lulis, who is basically Lila Rose's handler or head of media for Lila Rose in live action. We will also be defending abortion in the evening time as well. There it is right there. You guys can also come. It'll be in the Dudley Hall at Auburn University. And we'll be doing the same thing. Somebody can come and hear us talk for about 15 minutes. And then we're just going to be taking abortion questions for like the whole event. So come out.
And that's great too, because it's such a good topic for college kids. Love live action and what Lila Rose is doing with her organization. They're always doing great things. Love that they're teaming up with Turning Point to go on these college campuses as well. That's in Auburn. I've driven there before for work. It's a pretty lengthy drive, but not undoable. So maybe I'll have to look at my calendar to see if I can drive that way and meet you all there on March 25th. So if you have a student at Auburn, or if you want to make the drive to beautiful town, go see Turning Point Rise. They will be there. Abortion is the topic. But again, it's a pick up the mic that morning as well. If you have any questions for them, that is your time to do so. Everyone gets a voice, and it's a conversation. That's all we want to do, is have positive conversations and get to know everyone, and also gain knowledge from events like this. You can go to tpusarise.com for more information on the Race War Tour. You can also get all of the events coming up. TPUSA Rise, doing great things. Jaden, good to have you on, and thanks for everything that you're doing with Turning Point and for America.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Drink whole milk. Maha Moms Whole Milk is making a comeback. Secretary Kennedy is putting whole milk back in schools and is encouraging all parents to make sure your kids get enough milk throughout the day. Dr. Ben Carson, he's on the road promoting healthy habits across the country, and he shared this funny experience.
But a couple of months ago, Secretary Rollins and myself were at a school in Pennsylvania, and we were serving the kids lunch. And so many of them wanted broccoli. You can't imagine. But the thing that really was surprising is we, through the Dairy Association, provided each child with whole milk. Some of them had never had whole milk before. And they were so enthusiastic. They said, "This is the best milk I've ever had." They've been deprived from these things that give you strong bones, strong teeth, strong membranes for neurotransmission, all kinds of wonderful things that are happening. But it's so important that we begin to teach these issues to our children.
Drink whole milk. And when it comes to vaccines, another topic today in Maha Moms, the Trump administration is trying to raise awareness of the dangers, but sometimes vaccine injuries, not just in newborns, but also the COVID vaccine, doesn't make headlines. That's why we're here to remind you to do your homework before you or your child take a jab.
Despite being one of the largest health issues in America, vaccine injury is still marginalized. The sheer scope of the problem makes it hard to confront. Vaccine injuries are all around us. Most families in America have suffered from vaccine injuries, but most people don't know this because we've never clearly named this epidemic. We talk about the epidemic of chronic disease, but the vagueness of that term allows people to stare right at the problem without seeing it. America is experiencing a massive epidemic of vaccine injury, but without a name, people can't grasp it. Saying massive epidemic of vaccine injury is a mouthful. We need something catchier, hence MEVI.
And when it comes to vaccines in general, that's all vaccines. About 10 to 15% of those are classified as serious side effects. During the pandemic, between 2020 and 2022, 467 million doses were administered. Vaccine injuries do exist. That's your Maha Mom segment for today. When we come back, we'll look at Wall Street opening bell numbers and the president's schedule for today. It's St. Patrick's Day. We'll tell you what he's up to. That's coming up next. You're watching My Mornings with Vanessa.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
If you want to drop extra pounds, boost energy levels, and reduce swelling in your legs and feet, then this message is for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to make America healthy again. And 2 of their best-selling health supplements are leading the way. First is Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans have a sluggish liver that's riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on the pounds, and make you feel tired. Liver Health Formula takes care of that. It supports thriving liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down and revitalize your energy levels. Next is lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, and feet, this is for you. The natural ingredients in lymph system support help gently flush away extra fluid and toxins out of your body. And right now, for a limited time, you can get 35% off Liver Health Formula and Lymph System Support, along with 50 plus other health supplements that Pure Health Research has to offer. So head over to purehealthresearch.com and use promo code Lindell at checkout. That's purehealthresearch.com, promo code Lindell to save 35% on your order today.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Let's take a look at opening bell on Wall Street. Numbers from MarketWatch.com. You're looking at numbers from the Dow, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ. Markets looking good so far this morning. They bounced back yesterday, look to be bouncing back again this morning. Driving the market today, oil prices, Middle East tensions. Also, be on the lookout, the Federal Reserve. That meeting starts today. There's uncertainty on rates, but we'll be following that closely. Looking at your news to go as you start your day, the president celebrating St. Patrick's Day, greeting the Taoiseach of Ireland at 10:45 this morning. Immediately after, the president will participate in a bilateral meeting. At noon, a Friends of Ireland luncheon. At 2:30, a policy meeting in the Oval Office. At 4 p.m. Eastern, he's signing executive orders. Then at 5, the president will participate in a greeting with the Deputy First Minister of Northern Ireland. He will continue the day and conclude with the Shamrock Bowl presentation. Be looking for that coverage right here. Can't wait to see that presentation. And as always, we leave you today in prayer. Our daily Bible verse comes from the book of Isaiah. The Bible says, "Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who substitute darkness for light and light for darkness, who substitute bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. That's coming from the book of Isaiah. And a reminder, if you are on social media, you can give me a follow, send me a message. I am on X, Vocal, which is Mike Lindell's social media platform, Truth Social, which is President Trump's social media platform. I'm also on Instagram and YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for all of the viewers who have been chiming in, commenting lately. Love having interactions with you, even those who oppose my views. We can have a civil conversation, so you can do that on my social media pages. Those handles were on your screen. Make sure you give me a follow. I would love to chat with all of you. And that'll do it for us here this morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Have a good day, America.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get MyPillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including LINDELLTV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to LINDELLTV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the